Dead Deer High follows a team of high school slam poets and an English teacher as they prepare for a national poetry competition 1 year after a tragedy changed their life forever. Dead Deer High is directed by Jo Rochelle, and this is her second feature after Jasmine is a Star, and Dead Deer High just debuted at the 2026 South by Southwest Film Festival. Dead Deer High is a film with the best intentions, but for me, I wasn't able to connect to this film on an emotional level. I'll start off with what I liked about this film. I think all the performances in this film are all first rate, especially when they deliver the poetry. They really deliver it with such fierce conviction, and it really comes through on the screen. And the film does look fantastic. The cinematography and look at the film, and just the direction is very spot on. And I really liked the scenes with the English teacher played by Zach Kozlow, the way he connects with his students, and those scenes preparing for this poetry competition I really connected with those scenes. But for me, there's just too many characters in this film, and the character development is left me a little bit wanting, and the tone of this film is all over the place. It just every time we get an emotional scene, it tries to inject some kind of humor, out of place humor, and it's just really didn't like it. Just didn't really connect for me to have something so serious to happen in one scene and suddenly something comes out of nowhere. I'm not sure what it is. I just wasn't able to connect with these students and these teachers who 1 year ago there was one student who was killed by a stranger who came into the school and shot him and killed him, and now 1 year later they are still dealing with the aftermath of that, and they're going to use the inspiration of his death to write poetry for a competition. And I think a lot of the teachers and a lot of the parents of the kids think it's too soon to do this. And I'm not sure if it's just me. Maybe if we could have some flashbacks, if we could have had some scenes with the student that was shot. There's one character who plays a substitute teacher in this film. I don't know if she's supposed to be like the comic relief, but I just cringed every time she came on the screen. It's not really her performance. It's just her humor was out of place in such emotional scenes. And there's two instances of an animal. There's one like a bird suddenly wearing this emotional scene, and a bird comes into the classroom out of nowhere, and then suddenly a little bit later on in the film, Zach Goslow and his student are driving to the poetry competition, and suddenly a animal just jumps in front of the car. It's just, these two scenes come out of nowhere. And these students out of class, they have this like special section in the library where they can sit down and practice and for their poetry. And there's two scenes one scene where the principal just kind of eavesdrops and comes in and does some cringy comedic bit, and then the students cringe at that, and then a bit later in the film they're in the same place in the library, and then suddenly at the end of the scene one girl just says one line, and then the scene cuts. It's just there's little just very strange out of place script elements in the film just really took me out. It seemed silly, and it's just really hard to balance the tone in a film that's dealing with such a serious subject matter as this. In the first half of the film, we have the main trio of students who are practicing for this poetry competition with a teacher, Zach Kozlow, and suddenly halfway through the film there's a new girl comes out of nowhere as if she was already in the previous film, played by Madeline Grace, and her character is not even really introduced into the film. Suddenly she's just part of the group, and it's quite strange. I give Dead Deer High 2.5 stars out of 5. The performances in this film, they're all first rate. The film looks fantastic. It's very well directed, and the cinematography is good. And I did connect with the English teacher, Zach Kozlow, connected with the way he teaches his students. That was quite inspiring. But for me, the tone was all over the place in this film, and the character development and just some silly elements in the script just really took me out of the film. And I wasn't able to connect with the story of these students kind of like recovering from this incident that happened 1 year ago. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Dead D High? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.